Evening all, thank you for joining us. It's David from Team TFC and I'm here tonight with my crack team of commentators. We've got Nick Nellis, who also races for Team TFC, and at some stage his camera will refresh and he'll reappear on screen. We've also got Chris Scott from Adam Racing Team, the Walkback team. So great to have you both with us. Just before we get started, and the pens are counting down currently and getting ready to go live, just wanted to run through and explain some of the things that we're trying to do with the series, make sure that everyone's on board with kind of what we're trying to do. So the series that we're running, TFC Mad Monday, runs over 9 races. You can see the race schedule on the left. This is the second of the 9 races, and it's very much focused on team racing, and we're trying to do a few things differently. Firstly, we've made the category smaller, so everyone's now racing across 8 mixed and 4 women's categories. And so particularly for the likes of the B-Cat racers, the B category ranges from 3.2 to 3.6 watts per kilo, B plus from 3.6 to 4. And so for riders who might have just been upgraded from C, it's really trying to give them something to compete and be competitive in, rather than getting just dropped straight off the back in races, which happens normally when riders get upgraded. So trying to make a lot more competition for people, do something a little bit different to the broader racing categories. And we've been, incredibly grateful for the support. We've had over 900 racers signed up across the 12 races we're running tonight in the UK EU series, and more across the US as well. So phenomenal response, and thank you so much to all the teams. Just to flag, there is a lot of work that goes on from all of the team captains behind the scenes to make sure their riders get involved in the right categories, and we're hugely grateful for that effort. Races tonight, and just to bring my presenters back on screen, or co-commentators, we've got 3, so it's a points-based series that we're running. There's bonus points on offer. The 3 points tonight. Actually, Nick, why don't you explain where the bonus points are available on tonight, and a bit about the course, given you were the one responsible for this. And any complaints on course choices, I will very much direct them in Nick's direction as the series progresses and things get a little bit more hilly.
Yes, I am the one responsible for the course selection over the series that we've been running. So say today we've got last time people got actually quite like to race them. Decide to commentate on here tonight. So we have a fairly flat sort of start here. Come back into our Ocean Boulevard through the S series in the first Watopia sprint. It's the same sprint that was released last week. Coming out of that, then we'll head out towards the volcano with the next set of bonus points. We'll be up the volcano KOM. As we come down back of there, I've actually named it correctly than what we originally said. We have the reverse KOM. So not quite as steep a kicker as the forward. For some reason, I've just written forward in the original descriptions, but everyone knows we don't have forward KOM on this route. Have a nice reverse KOM there for coming down quickly, back down to Ocean Boulevard for the finish. So expecting this to be quite interesting for the sprinters, having that sprint point coming up first on the flats, and then a little bit of something for the climbers there as well.
Cool. Well, thanks, Nick. And just as we start to roll out, the races have started to take effect. So just make sure we get involved in the categories there. We've got the B-Cat races already set up now. As I say, we're tracking the B plus, the C plus, and the women's C class race tonight. And we do have a very special commentator tonight, considering we're covering the women's C-Class race, because Chris's wife is actually racing in that one. So what do you think her chances are tonight, Chris?
Well, basically, if she doesn't win, it is an entire fix, and I will be contacting everyone. Because, yeah, she's an absolute legend, my wife, and is going to win. Do not let me down, wife, if you're listening at the same time as riding.
I think someone's itching to. Someone's trying to earn some brownie points and make sure he has a bed to sleep in tonight rather than a sofa. So good luck, Chris. Not that we've thrown you into the deep end and given you a risky proposition, but thank you for joining us tonight to cover it. So as you can see, if we jump through the races now just for a second, in the B plus race, we've got massive bunch. Basically about 150 riders squeezed into what looks like about 100 meters on the road. One guy seems to be taking the wind, which is a bit ambitious of him. I'd certainly be keeping my nose well out of it if I was him, but yeah, very big bunch, great spread of teams, and I think the big attendees tonight really have been TFC. Great to see a bigger showing from our own team tonight. ART, who've been big supporters of the series for a long time, so thanks again, and thanks for joining us. We've got a big attendance from BRT as well, the Swift Scotland, PTZ, lots of great teams, and Cryogen as well. So very, very big attendance, and as I say, we're very grateful to all of those teams for their support for the series and our attempts to try and do something a bit different on the Swift racing scene. So who do you think's gonna? Do you think there's any chance of a breakaway tonight in any of these races tonight, Nick, or is it just going to be a usual Swift bunch sprint?
Well, I think with the climbs, that'll be sorting out the groups pretty quickly. I think. I mean, with the sprints, if people are feeling a little bit weak, maybe we'll have a few people dropping off. But I expect across all the cats that you'll have a pretty big bunch hitting the bottom of Volcano. I mean, Volcano's a pretty fast climb. It's quite draftable, that, but I'm sure by halfway up there we'll be seeing the real splits starting to happen there. But yeah, I think on the flats we're not going to see too much action there until the sprints. But I think right after the sprints we'll probably see things coming back together again.
Yeah, thanks.
If I could just put in a quick shout in the B plus race, if anyone does want to let a breakaway go, if it could be including Pete Larkin in it, Pete Larkin from Team ART. It's his birthday today, and what better way to celebrate your birthday than with a massive haul of points. So if you're feeling generous, come on, let Pete go. Let's go. Happy birthday, Pete.
We can let him go off the front there, get a bit of TV time for the sponsors.
I think he should just go for a breakaway. You need to get a message to him, Chris. We can't find him unless he gets himself 200 meters off the front. So
I have just dropped him a note saying, "Come on, man, hurry up. You're not as old as you look." So yeah, there we go. Come on, Pete, get off the front.
And I think I'm just having a look and just looking across the races, and same as last week, if we jump into the C plus race, just like we had last week, you could just about see it in the map, but we've already had a decent selection. It's, we've tried to make the category smaller with a view that it might make things a bit closer and easier for people to hang on, but if there's someone's going to push the pace, you're going to end up finding a few people getting dropped out the back. So must have been a very, very tough start at the beginning of that one.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as I was saying that there shouldn't really be any splits happening on the flats, and just watching as the C plus we're just splitting apart, going, okay, not quite what I was expecting there.
You've already found yourself part of the commentator's curse, Nick. Very, very well timed.
Yeah. But yeah, there seems to be a few groups splitting apart there, but I think that the majority of people are up in that front group. From what I can see at the moment, seems to be sort of maybe a handful that have fallen off the back. So yes, I think that we should have a pretty big bunch there coming in for that those first bonus points.
Yeah, I had a special request from Tim who said, don't be watching me when we come to the climb, so I'll have to make sure and stay focused on Tim when we get to the Volcano KOM, because Tim's very, very good. I've done a few team time trials with Tim when I had my brief flirtation with the CCAT positioning in our latte teams, and He's very impressive over a sort of 1-2 minute climb, but once it gets a little bit longer, he's an ex-rugby player. So when you're carrying 100 odd kilos up a climb, it soon starts to tell. We'll see how long. I think he'll get himself down to 90 kilos by the end of the year. That's what I've challenged him for, in a healthy way, of course. But I think I'll soon make a difference for him. It's been quite a big selection, though, for a field that started out at over 100 riders. I think we're down to about 60 in this front group, maybe 70. At least I think there's at least 30 or 40 riders off the back.
Yeah, at least around that, I'd say.
What I enjoy about Zwift is how what your weight is, Zwift then makes your avatar look slightly bulkier so you can actually tell who the sprinters and who the climbers are. So we'll see. We'll see if that rings true when we get to the volcano, because there are some people who have got some massive guns on them in this peloton that I can see, and I don't think they're going to be there on the climbs. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it soon starts to tell.
Yeah, we're talking about Tim being an ex-professional rugby player, so an old picture of him. I think his arms are bigger than my waist.
Yeah, I saw that picture the other day as well, where he was being presented with some sort of a trophy or something, or holding a trophy. And yeah, it's. Anyway, sorry, I've managed to just spill my cider. It's like I've obviously spilt or stirred it up, spiced it up too much as I was carrying it up the stairs. It's decided to go spilling all over my desk. Anyway, it's safe now. So looks like, just if we come back, have a quick scan through the races. So in the BCAT, yeah, still very, very big bunch there. If we jump to the overhead, you can see, and even on the map, I don't think anyone's been dropped off yet. I don't think there was any point in making this BCAT smaller. No one's getting dropped off. I'm sure they're not feeling that right now.
Yeah, I would have thought in sort of the B plus, you know, on the flats, wouldn't really expect too many people to be getting dropped on the flats and the B plus. But I think once we hit the volcano, you're going to be seeing people peeling off pretty quickly.
Yeah, see how much it strings out once we get there. Shall we see how your wife's doing, Chris?
Yeah, tracking it closely. We've got a pretty small field in the ladies' race tonight, so it would be a shame if this does split up, because it's always lonely to ride by yourself. So I think I can take this opportunity just to say quickly to anyone who is listening, if you are considering racing and you are female, then just go for it, because it is a huge amount of fun. And we do need to get these ladies' races as big as we possibly can. So come along and bolster the ladies' numbers. But it is a team of 13 on the road tonight. The power looks actually pretty good from what they're putting out. Small selection of art ladies in there. I can see a few from I think.
The Swedish Swifter, the Swedish team.
Yep.
And we've got the Danish Swift Riders team as well in tonight. So it's a big thank you to the teams that are supporting the women's series. We'd love to try and build and grow the racing series here. I completely understand a lot of them prefer to race in some of the mixed categories, so that you don't get, you have a bigger field and more likely people to race with. But we have a bit of a chicken and egg problem where we're putting the races on, and a lot of riders are waiting on everyone else to sign up. So anyway, we'll keep trying. We're trying to build it. We'd love to get a few more of the bigger women's teams involved as well, just to help to grow the attendance and make it more competitive. But hopefully we'll be not too far away from the action. We're about 9k in the B plus race. The sprint comes in about 15k, so not too far down the road, and then we'll hopefully start seeing a bit of action. That is quite a beard, I must say. Whoever Dano is, I think he might get the award for the avatar between his afro and his beard. So I certainly haven't experimented enough. Looks like we actually have a few TFC riders trying to break off the front. Maybe it's accidental more than tactics.
Of trying here.
Yeah, I was going to say it looked like there was a decent attack there. There was like 3 or 4 riders from TFC up the front. One had broken off the front, and then it's very quickly came back together.
Yeah, roundabout here. You take the turn up towards Titan's Grove. In a smaller bunch, you might have a chance of maybe getting a few of you sort of really pushing the pace and getting way up here. But I think with
it
number
might
of
stretch out a
riders we
bit.
have here, yeah,
I'd like to see it stretch out.
stretching.
Get some people pushing it at the front, and really putting, trying to get rid of maybe some of the weaker riders in this group, because this is going to be the one place you're nice downhill to recover afterwards, and it's going to be the only place really before you get to the base of the volcano. So good place to put in a small attack if you wanted to. Might stick if you can get enough people to go with you.
Yeah, it's
I
always.
think here maybe it's a team tactic. If you work together in a team, these guys are all on Discord chatting. They might be sending up a couple of guys to go and push the pace at the front up here. Maybe try and tire out some of the legs of the sprinters before we get to the main sprint point. But I've got a feeling with such a large group across each of the cats here, it's probably going to be difficult to really split too many people out here.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll just sit on Steve's wheel as he climbs up here. Steve's one of the team captains at ART and has done a lot of work with us to help get the series where it is. So kudos and thanks to Steve. Hopefully he doesn't get dropped now that we focused in on him. Not that this is done on purpose at all. I'm sure he'll hang in. I've raced with him a few times in the past, and he's a pretty punchy sprinter anyway. I don't know how well he hangs on during the climbs, because I never made it to the climbs myself that often. We'll soon find out tonight. But
Steve is pretty punchy in real life. Rumour has it he's actually knocked out a grizzly bear before, but that might just be hearsay.
Well, he's made it over the little drag as it is. Yeah, he's my dad was as well. So it's plenty of stories come from that career, that's for sure. Especially when you grew up in Northern Ireland like I did. So,
well,
I've seen a few
Steve's
small
from
splits coming out
the
there.
north.
what'd you say, Nick?
So I was saying, it seems to be some small gaps opening up there. In case seeing if guys can close those up on the downhills.
Yeah, I think this descent's just about steep enough that you get into super tuck and you can usually close anything if you haven't been dropped too badly. So, you going to share those, Chris?
Yeah, that's it.
No. No, get your hands off my nuts.
Oh, we're not going there, are we?
Oh dear. Who lowered the tone?
Too
Who lowered the tone? I'm only through one bottle. I'm not through the second one yet. Come on, Chris. Keep it clean.
It's like the watershed.
Sorry.
Come on, save it after the watershed.
Oh dear. So it looks like if we jump into the CCAL race, looks like it's still holding, fairly tightly together. We've got one guy, Jeremy Broadbent, seems to want to push the pace up this little climb. I think in the CCAL race, this might actually cause a bit of a selection here. Tim's trying to chase it down.
Controlling the front of it, which is always good to see from TFC.
Yeah.
The numbers up there at the front, and control it a bit. I mean, a solo breakaway is just not going to work here. You need some
not with that far to go. So
It could cause a chase and a bit of problems further back down the pack.
yeah, it definitely looks like more than any of the other races, the CCAT's definitely splitting up. There's definitely a bit of separation going on back there. So we'll see how quickly they can close him down here. Looks like there's a decent chase going on.
It'll be interesting to see what sort of gaps start to open up behind between the different groups. Because say once you come onto this downhill, if you've really got to put the hammer down to close those gaps. Because if you don't, it can be difficult to push back on. You've got to burn some matches to close everything back up again.
Yeah, I think it looks like the Rhino rider's been brought back in now, so nice little effort. Definitely pushed the pace up the climb. Looks like there's a little split in the back. I'm just trying to. You can just see at the very back. There's a bit of a split. So it looks like it's definitely done a bit of damage. I'd guess it's something like about rider 50 and back. It's now started to split up a bit.
Yeah,
and it's definitely strung
out.
on.
The teams work together to try and close those gaps, especially if you've got sort of your strong sprinters further back. You know, these teams need to be talking and working together to try and close those if they need to.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Good to have you with us tonight. We've had a reasonable attendance live. Lots of people check out the replay to see if we caught them live on camera. We'll do our best. If you do something, we'll try and catch it. Particularly if it's through the bonus points, because we'll certainly be tuning in then. But yeah, that's definitely split up the C race. It looks like that front group is about. See if I can catch the numbers. Looks like about 50 riders, I'd say. 40 or 50 riders in the front group now. Yeah, 50 riders, and then we've got a bit of a split. So that's definitely a selection. That's, all of the meaningful points places are now in this front group. So, yeah, that Rhino, I hope there's plenty of Rhino riders in here, otherwise Jamie Broadbent just made it tough for a lot of his teammates.
Yeah, well, I'll be interested if this particular ride I'm looking at. Who's it now? There's a couple of guys here with some really big sort of 15-second power numbers. I think some of these guys are pretty much double the amount of power I do for a sprint, but that's not saying much.
That's not saying much, Nick. Yeah, I was going to say, I think I've got double the numbers you have for a sprint, and I'm not saying much. So.
Yeah, but one guy I'm looking at here is Will Fuller from the Rhinos. He does a 13 watt per kilo, 15-second PB. There he is.
Let's see how big he is. We'll go back. You can be the judge, Chris, given your comments on the avatars. Is this a sprinter? I'll try and get a good angle for you. It's a bit tough.
Am I ever likely to meet him in real life? Let's just work that out before I say anything.
He's an ART rider, is he? Trying to tell what his kit is. Rhino. Okay, the Rhinos have the.
Rhino, yeah.
Yeah, so the Rhinos have the blue, white, and grey kit. So you can just see him there with the orange cap.
Assuming he's positioned correctly, I'd fancy hitting for the sprint here.
Yeah, me too, actually.
He
looks reasonably built.
15-second though.
What's the absolute watts on?
Well, look at that fella. He spends a lot of time in the gym, that boy.
1200 watts.
Oh, come on, I can do that, Nick. I thought you said it was special.
Oh, he just puts in a little sprint there. Look at that. It's like he knows.
I think he knows he's on camera.
Yeah.
12.
Although I'm gonna jump in right now and say that he's triathlete socks on. They're not the socks of a proper cyclist.
I have tried to battle this in TFC for a while, and it's just not worth trying anymore. I have given in and accepted. We have triathlon members in our teams, and as far as I see it, they can go and do their Ironman. I think all of them want to do an Ironman course, which is fair play, and kudos to anyone who can. I can't, because I can't swim well enough. I can barely save my life, never mind anything else. But kudos to anyone who does. But soon after you've done that, realise it's better to just cycle and not get injured. That's my view.
Absolutely.
So what's going on in the other races? The B-Cats can't be getting too far away from the sprint.
No, it looks like they're just going up the S's at the moment.
Yeah, I very nearly missed that. Guys, keep me honest.
No, we're all right.
So it's round this bend, 2 bends, and then we're coming round to it, aren't we? If I remember right.
Well, this is the false flat up to almost up to the town and village.
Yeah, someone's going to end up telling me off for telling them it was about 15k and they're like 17k in. Where's the sprint? Anyway,
It was roughly from that point.
I'm going to just blame Nick. That's why you do the courses, Nick, so I have someone to blame.
Yeah. But I'd have to work with what we can with Swift Power. It's funny, it did cause a bit of confusion because Swift Power doesn't actually show this sprint on the map, but it shows the Fuego Flats sprint. I don't know why it doesn't show this one.
Let's not get into the intricacies of what Swift Power actually is anymore, or we could be here all night. For anyone who has been around the Zwift scene for a while, they will understand that. So, anyway, thanks for those that are commenting on the races. Yeah, a couple of shout outs for, the World Elite Zwifters. Apologies, we're not covering the A+ category where most of them reside tonight, but I'm sure they're smashing it. And otherwise, we've got a shout out to Team Rhino. So good luck, guys. Again, thanks for your support. Very strong team across the particularly the C and D categories, and we often have a very good battle between TFC and them in the Mocha team time trial categories. So
the B's winding up for the sprint, just crossing the start line now.
Yeah.
Few orange figures starting to show up. And looks like the Aussie Day boys at the front pushing it on quite nicely. Stolen the march by the looks of things.
I think they might have gone too early. I think they've gone.
Stevie Halbert chasing. No,
Let's just hold on.
I think so. The Vikings rider jumped him, but they got second and third. Yeah. Looked like the Aussie Hump Day racing team definitely took a lot of the places on that one. We'll try and catch it on Swift Power Live when the numbers come through.
Yeah, eventually. Steve Halbert, I think, snuck through in about 6th for Team Art, so well done, Steve.
Oh no! I've lost the C+ race. Whoever was racing in it's dropped out. Whoever I was following dropped out. No!
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Oh man. Let me see if I can get back into it. I don't think I'm going to need to
get back to
guys, you guys chat away for a bit because I'm going to need to drop out, change my Zwift companion app to go onto the account that I'm logged into that. So carry on tracking. I'll put you on the women's speak out race.
I guess the C.
Mrs. Scott is definitely not going to drop out. Yeah, we're going to miss it because that person's dropped out. It was going so well. Sorry, guys.
Well, there we go. So the ladies just starting to make their way over the bridge before the S's at the bottom. All look to be together at the moment. Glad to say that my wife is still there. Well done, wife. You are looking wonderful on board that canyon. Who else have we got? We've got Jess Dalglish. Quick shout out for Jess. Seeing as I've got the floor for the moment. Jess just recently joined Team Art. And who else we got? We've got Alison Ross as well for Team Art. Always a strong rider as Alison. So hopefully the trio of Art will do well. Although it looks like you could be in some stiff competition with the Swedish and the Danish riders.
I think we got back.
The Scandinavians always have so many strong riders. It's unbelievable.
We've just got it, guys. Hold on. I've just in no more made it back in time. So go on, David Hill. Nice one, David. I'm going to call that 4 TFC riders in the top 10. Whoa, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Right, please, Tim? You're not allowed to drop out. If you drop out, I'm going to know about it. So it looked like we had David Hill.
Good timing, well done, David.
I can breathe a sigh of relief. Thanks, guys.
I'm just wondering where our man Will Fuller went to then. I was expecting him to be right up there, but didn't really see him.
No, I obviously don't know what happened in the run up to it, but it looked like we had quite a bit of a build up to that when they definitely went for it early. And
unless Unless he was the one who actually then
He dropped out. Yeah. He was who I was following.
He had his moment in the sun when you were talking about his awesome sprinting prowess and thought, well, that's me done.
I don't need to show it anymore. They've talked about it already. So anyway, I think from what I saw on that one, it looked like Dave Hill got the points over the line, and then it was pretty close from there back. So I'm not sure how quickly we'll get numbers through on Zwift Power. Sometimes it can be reasonably quick. Just depends. Nope, nothing just yet. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's not giving me by category yet. I've only got the A+ races so it looks in the A+ race, we can't see it, but the Wes riders have taken the sprint in the A+ race. Let's see if we get the other ones over time.
So was that Mike Hoodless didn't win the A+ sprint?
Definitely, yep. Guaranteed. John Lee won it from Wes.
I'm disappointed. Mike, when you watch this back, you're sacked.
There's no, I don't think
He's one of
there's
your
going
top sprinters.
I don't think there's going to be any ART riders left if Chris carries on commentating.
Linny from last week, we caught up afterwards. It was all fine. She will do better this week, I am certain. But Mike, absolutely no chances. Awful. We'll catch up later, Mike.
So we have Mrs. Scotty coming round to the. I'm going to get in trouble with your missus tonight, Chris, aren't I? If I just stay focused on her all night. Who do you think's going to win the sprint?
Are there any other ladies in this race? Let's be honest.
Hopefully none that you care
I
about.
don't even really ask that question.
Anyway, no. Here we go.
Is Mrs. Scotty a sprinter?
I'm not even sure she knows where this sprint is, to be honest. So we'll see.
You didn't do enough training. You can't miss that
Come
green
on,
line.
wife! Start sprinting!
She's going.
Here we go.
That is like the best response I've seen yet on a sprint.
Come on!
It's gone from a long way out.
She's gone from a very long way out. Those are big numbers, but
This is my fault. I told
I'll take that. She got second. She got second.
That's all right. That was a good effort.
Come on, wife!
Especially if I'm going from so far out.
Oh man, what have we created? I really hope she can stay on the race now after you doing that, Chris. Otherwise, you're definitely going to be the doghouse. So, go on, Dig Deep. She's going to have to do. It's a long race with 2 KOMs from here.
Up the volcano.
So it looks like we better jump back to the B race because they're making their way up the climb, and we've started to have a pretty big selection from what I can see. It looks like we've just got back to the front group. It's already broken up into three groups on the road. I hate this climb personally. It's just that little bit steep enough.
I love it.
What do you weigh, Nick?
This is like one of my perfect climbs. This is like my favourite climb, I think, on Zwift. It's fast at the bottom. It's quite speedy. You can draft quite a lot of it. It's just that last kick at the very end, just before the KOM, that hurts the most, though.
What do you mean? It all hurts. It's 5%.
But it's all It's so draftable when you hit it at speed.
I'm going to rest on one thing, which is that I beat you in a real life KOM challenge, and I weigh over 10 kilos more than you, and I did that as well. So I may go to my grave resting on that.
Yeah, we need to have a rematch sometime. I think I'm a bit fitter since we last raced.
and I'm slower, but we'll ignore that fact. So
we kind of diverged a little bit. I think back then we were both kind of BCAT, right?
You'd been a bit chilled for a bit, and I had been working hard, and ever since I've been a bit chilled, and you've worked quite hard. So there we go. Anyway, it looks like Rodney wants this one. He's always been on the verge of whether he's still a top end B cat. He's I think been up and down a few times between the categories, but definitely still pressing on here at 6 watts per kilo, even as it flattens out a little bit. It's put 3 seconds into the bunch already.
Well, these HDR guys will be having a good race in the B plus and did pretty well in the sprint. We have Young here then taking up the he's on form to take the points at the top of here. We've got a few points in the bag for them already.
I don't want to tell you this, Chris, but you might be in trouble tonight.
I know, no, I was watching that. I was watching that. Yeah. Well, no, team orders were get the sprint points early because you never know what's going to happen on that climb. So just make sure you get some sprint points early on.
Yeah, it's a good effort. There was 20 points on offer there. I think she took 18, so no complaints about the points that were won.
Absolutely not.
But getting to, how long is this climb, Nick? I can't remember. 4 kilometers almost. 6 seconds. That's going to be hard to close.
I always think of this climb in terms of the time it takes to get up there.
See, my time's not comparable. My time is not going to be comparable to anyone else, so it's not worth me counting it. So.
Putting out some big watts there, 5.5, 6 watts a kilogram. That's some strong riding there.
He's still putting time into the group behind. So Richard Gubby pressing on at the front for TFC. It's a pretty select group up here now, by the look of it. Down to, I'm going to call that about 30 riders, maybe 40 in the front group.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if we can push back on the downhill, on the flat section afterwards, and try and bring it back together. But it's.
I think if it's a solo
these
rider,
gaps are big enough.
If it's a solo rider, it's a long enough. It's a long enough flat section after this that it will come back together.
Oh yeah. I mean, but in terms of like the larger splits here, if some of the guys behind can work to sort of pull back in the front group.
Yeah, definitely. And let's see what's going on in the. Luckily, we've managed to stay just at the front of the C-Cat race. So it looks like we've in the C-Cat C plus Cat as they climb up it. We've had Gaynor from TFC. I have a feeling that's Debbie Gaynor. We're a big team, so I'm going to excuse my lack of knowledge of everyone's name. Getting 6 seconds off the front as well. So there's a few people managing to get a good break if they really press on the climbs.
Yeah, she's doing really well there.
Right, Graham McCrindle from Art. He will undoubtedly haul them back in. It's such as a rider of his calibre, he cannot fail but to score big points on this climb.
And if any other teams want to get more mention in the streams, we're very open to more commentators. So feel free to get in touch. We're very happy to have a bigger team. Obviously not crazy big, but good to have you here. And just to give a bit of a shout out, we do have a lot of smaller teams racing in the series as well, beyond just the big teams. And you can see VCRT, local racing team in the UK, also giving a good showing up at the front of the C-Cat race in what has become quite a select group at the front of this one. So 8 seconds there for Debbie. Just coming back to the B-Cat race.
Danielle, actually.
Danielle? I was good. Cheers, Nick. I'm not getting it wrong anymore. At least I had the gender correct. So it looks like we've had Engel make a bit of an effort to close the gap on Rodney here. Just as the course starts to... Oh, we passed the KOM. We're over the top. So it looks like Rodney took the points over the KOM. Engel was not too far behind. I'm going to guess these times are pretty representative of what the positions would have been. So,
some
pretty
fast times for bees.
It's a strong time, very strong time.
Yeah, 6:46 up there. That's flying.
They're all B plus, so it's It's a select
See you in the
group.
A's next week. See you in the A's next week.
I can only hope so. I have a chance to hang on in the races. So if we move down to the C plus race, Danielle is doing very well, still holding a 7-second gap. Looks like Smith from the Rhinos is starting to try and make a bit of an effort to close that down. Still pretty decent bunch.
Interesting. We have Fuller back actually. Let's see, Will Fuller back then in about sixth or fifth place.
There's one rider I need to find. Whereas there's Damon McKay.
Damon.
So if anyone's enjoying the splendid clothing I'm wearing in terms of the TFC hoodie, the cycle cap and the sport race jersey, which thankfully you can't see any further down my body right now. All of that is thanks to Damon McKay, who likes to think of himself as the TFC quartermaster. Sorts out our kit all the time.
He is the quartermaster.
Indeed. And does a great job. So anyone who's in the TFC team, there's a kit store live right now. We don't make any profit from it. All of it goes through in discounts for you. So do feel free to get involved if you want some TFC kit. You do need to be a team member though.
It's great kit as well.
So yeah,
it's great kit.
Cheers, Nick. Good shout out. So looks like Will's not finished. I thought he had gone. Obviously, I just messed up myself in terms of tracking the race. Yeah, maybe.
Well, maybe he just had like a small dropout and just came back in again. Internet dropped or something like that. But
shall we find out where Tim is? Given he told me not to follow him on the climbs.
Oh yeah, we have to find Tim.
What's your guess? What's your guess on his position? Where do you think he is? Have a guess.
Starting the climb. Sorry,
26.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's for a big rugby fella like he is. That's pretty good going. So try and find a way back to the front.
For a guy who last year was a D, just started cycling really. I mean, this is really impressive for him. You know, he's lost a lot of weight. He's getting fitter and fitter. 26th in a field this large, going up Volcano. I mean,
and he's only just made his way
into a great ride.
He's only just made his way into C plus as well. So he would have been a C card not too long ago. So I think Danielle's got this one in the bag.
From strength to strength.
I think Danielle's got this one in the bag with a 10-second gap as we come up to the climb. And we'll check in on the B-Cats in a second, see how that lead group's doing. But let's see who takes it over the top in the C plus race. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Daniel.
This kick here is just, this last little kick is so painful.
There you go. And that's what 10% looks like.
Yeah.
So just grind to a halt. It's like you're not moving anymore.
Yeah, so that sprint, or call it a sprint, that steep section just to get to the top is such a killer.
So it looks like she's going to take it over the top. Who's going to take second place?
Little sprint by Graham Mack there coming up. Is that?
I think he's took second. Good effort.
Yeah.
Well done.
And then we had Cryjan up there as well, and Bob Jungil.
Those are some.
Jungil.
That's some fast times again.
Yeah.
C plus. Just over 8 minutes. That's they're flying out there tonight.
Yeah. No one's hanging around. And cheers, Eric. Eric's given some encouragement to your missus there, Chris, so you can pass that on in the comments. So it looks like in the women's C race there, at a guess about a third of the way up the climb. Still a pretty tight bunch, much more bunched together than we saw in the other races. Doesn't look like we've had too much of an effort to try and break the pack up. Quite happy to kind of keep it together and go for it at the end by the looks of it. So we'll check in on the B plus and see how things have come back together. Looks like we've had that's a pretty tight selection up there. We're about, I'm gonna say 35 riders. Oh, that's the next group. So yeah, 30 riders in the front bunch in the B plus race. And I'm going to take a bit of encouragement as a TFC rider. I think we've got a good 5-6 riders up there. I can see Andy Robinson, Richard Gubby, Who else do we have? Sam Bolton recently joined the team. Good to see you. Good effort. So yeah, I think TFC are pretty well positioned tonight. Looks like we've got quite a few from the Team NL as well. Up there, a few from Race 3R. Where's the ART jerseys, Chris?
Well, they're playing a
Steve's made it. Steve's made it. I can see Steve.
Yeah,
Steve will always make it. Steve will always make it. That man is as strong as an ox.
Well, he's pushing it on the front. Get your nose out of the wind, Steve. What are you doing?
Yeah, it'll be interesting if they stay away though. I'm saying if the group behind manages to organise themselves and catch back up. I mean, it's a tough ask, but if the front eases up, if they've pushed hard up that climb and trying to save a bit of legs for a reverse KOM, happens quite often that they'll just ease up, not push, and the guys behind are motivated to try and close that gap.
So how far is it to the reverse KOM, Nick?
We've got about 4k or so from here, I'd say. Right, yeah, actually not
too far.
A bit further ahead here. Not even that, probably about 2k. We'll be coming up this small little climb here. We're hanging around
out of the village,
across the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably a couple of k from here now for the B plus.
Yeah, you go up through the S section, and then you climb over the bridge, and then you're heading up.
Yeah. And the time KOM starts on a quite fairly mellow bit at the bottom. That's not really the place to sort of attack. It's where you're kind of like sticking together. If you want to draft up there as much as possible to save your legs, and then you get that wall basically that you absolutely have
the thing is
to kick up and over.
The reverse KOM I quite like because, or the way we're going up it tonight, because it kind of starts quite steep and it pinches up to about 10%, but it's not 10% for that long. Whereas the other way around, when you start from the start-finish straight and you climb up
forward.
it, that one just kills me because it's like 2 minutes of just hell.
I hate that. That's one of my worst climbs on Swift. I just cannot climb forward KOM.
No, me neither. So if we
but
check,
reverse, you just have to watch it, because with that steep kick, you really have to make sure that you keep pushing over the top, because if you snap over the top of there, you have that slight downhill, and you can get gap there, and then it can be quite difficult, even though it's not that steep afterwards. Carry on to the top. If you don't get back on,
he's approaching the end of the climb.
Yep, we're not too far away, and we'll come to it after we get to the end of the KOM. But interestingly, in the C plus race, it hasn't come back together. We've had a rider. I'll show it quickly, and then we'll get back to the women's. We've got two riders off the front of the C plus race who've really pressed on at the front here. Oh, hold on, what's going on? There we go. So we've had two riders at the front of the C plus race who've really taken it, a bit between the teeth and got a bit of a break, and they've got 10 seconds on the next crew. So just as we come over the top in the women's race, looks like
Hayley Matthews from Scotland, I think that is.
Yep, and then we've got
take it from the front.
Antonsen from DZR. Johanna
it's
from
great to see Swift Scotland out there across all the different categories and genders.
Yeah, they've done well.
They're a fairly new team as well. I think first started seeing them sometime last year, and they've really built up the teams, and they're really out there in a lot of these big races very often. And they've certainly been supporters of the Mad Monday series as well. So it's great, always great to see them out there.
Yeah, big thanks from us. They were big supporters for the last two series, and great to see them out in force again tonight. So if we jump back into the B+, they're just coming up to the KOM, so starting to get a bit feisty here. Rodney had put in a little bit of an effort to get off the front again. Seems like it's come back together quite quickly, and now we've just got a big bunch coming up. This is where starts off, as Nick was saying, kind of gradually, and it's definitely worth being in the draft at this point. What are you doing up there, David?
Here you want to save your legs. There's no need to attack or at this section. You just need to be able to carry your speed in to the kicker and really push up and over the top of there. So say you come straight back down to that small downhill section. If that elastic snap, you got a hell of an effort to try and get back on again.
I do believe at this point you really wish you had a feather in your back pocket. But
Yeah.
in this race, that ain't going to happen.
We got no power-ups.
So either that or you weigh as much as a small person.
Yeah. It's a long way to go in the KOM to keep a gap from here, though. I would personally always just stay in the draft and try and, stay with the lead bunch, because the KOM points aren't for another kilometre up the road, kilometre and a half, before you actually get to the red banner.
It depends how you want to play. Right? If you're feeling strong, get on the front. If you can kick and really push on up there, get the others to work hard to try and close the gap to you. Try and tie their legs out.
Yeah, so it looks like it's bunching back up together as you would have expected. Steve's decided he wants to do a bit of a turn on the front. I think this is one of those points where you're going to wish the commentators didn't know who you were. Then they might not be calling you out. And I see we've got Mike Taylor in tonight from Cryogen, who absolutely smashed the BCAT in one of our prior series. So I'm expecting him to be well up there. Certainly come the end, if not in the points for this KOM. So still a big group tonight though in the CCAT. Not really too much of a selection yet.
I'm just looking at the ladies' times going up the volcano, and some very good times going up there as well. Not to be sniffed at in the slightest going up there. So well done, ladies.
Yeah, sort of sub tens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shot.
I just find.
And if we just,
really genuinely enjoyed Mad Monday series. It's just that everyone just pushes so hard across all categories here. And so interesting to see with the sort of more granular split as well. There's just seeing amazing times in riding from everybody out there.
Well, we did a good exercise with with some of the ladies' cats and the men's categories or the mixed categories afterwards from a team art perspective, and the vast majority of our ladies would have done incredibly well if they joined the mixed categories. So. I think men, you've really got to watch out for these ladies. As we've seen tonight with was it the C plus race, climbing led out by a lady.
So we're just coming up to the end of the KOM in the B plus race here. So it's about 300-400 meters up the road from here. Just round this corner, and then you'll see the banner. So I wonder who's gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Andy Robinson's going. I saw orange numbers there. Wow, it's getting spicy up here.
Steve, come on, Steve. Where are you, Steve? Push harder, Steve.
Got a pretty good kick.
Good numbers going out, that's for certain.
Oh, I think the STW rider just took that. That was tight. Wow.
That was very close.
That was probably the most contested sprint we've seen tonight. So if we just jump over to the
sprint on the KOM.
It's like 10 watts per kilo. What? Haven't you been climbing for like 3 minutes? There was too much energy recovery there. They weren't trying hard enough. Try again next week.
I need to pick harder courses.
It's a really interesting effort here in the C plus race. We've two riders have 30 seconds on the field. Looks like they're working pretty well together actually as well. So I'm going to leave.
This is not something you see very often.
I'm going to leave you guys to carry on the commentary as the group comes, and I'll be back in about 30 seconds because two balls have gone through me rather quickly.
Just for that, that's just
a little too much. So who have we got? So we got looks like we've got a rider from TFC, and just trying to make out the other team that's up at the front with that. But the chase group being led by Graham from Team Art, and it's a pretty big bunch that's going to try and hunt him down.
I'm just surprised that those two riders have got such a big gap already. It's not something you see very often in a Swift race. And it's not like they had a huge gap over the top of Volcano either.
No, I would suggest maybe here it'll probably stick.
It could very well do. I mean, you don't have much further to go after you've come off the top of reverse KOM. I mean, you're talking like sort of 5k left. If they've got 30 seconds, I mean, it's I fancy their chances of staying away. So you got Danielle Gaynor and Simon Fletcher from
VCRT.
So I mean, with a 30-second gap, you know, they're both sort of decent climbers. Well, I mean, Simon's just got a lot of power. Danielle's obviously a really good climber. It's you gotta fancy the chance of staying away over the top.
I think what I'm most impressed with is they're actually kind of working together. You know, through that flat bit, it looked like they were actually both taking a few turns. You don't often see that in Zwift. It's rare that someone actually works together with you and tries to get a breakaway going. So, you know, big effort.
Danielle's got bored of him now, and she's they're off.
Oh, she's gone for the KOM points.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can get that power in and speed, take that over the top, you can super tuck all the way down to the bridge, and then you're home and dry pretty much. I say that, but
it'll be interesting to see how much of a gap she gets over Simon, because I think there's you know, with the weight differential between them, I mean, it's too short of a descent really for it to make a huge difference, but it'd be interesting if she can get a large enough time gap just to sort of like TT in that sort of last 3.5k to the finish line.
She's putting out, you know, up to 5 watts a kilogram there to Fletcher's 3 to 4, so that gap is going to get large pretty quick.
We're gonna end up a little bit. I was going to say we're going to end up a little bit caught between what to track, because we're getting close to the finish on the B plus race as well. So it's what, 42k.
I think Daniel's going to be taking this. Taking this. But, I mean, Euro as well. Look, I mean, Danielle's sort of averaging sort of 100, 190 sort of watts or something, whereas Simon's averaging 340 watts. You know, so if she gets a big enough gap, it's going to be interesting. If she gets a large enough gap, she's got a chance of staying away to the finish. But Simon's got that raw power for the downhill and on the flats. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we can say Danielle's going to take the sprint, and then she'll probably get back with Fletcher for the finish. I think they might hold it. That's a big enough gap to try and keep it close.
Oh yeah, so, I think they're away from the rest with a 30-second gap. By the time they get to the bottom of this, it's only about 3.5, 4k to go. As soon as she's still got it in her legs, she should stay away.
Yeah. And we're starting to see things. If we just come into the B+, I think we're going to say Danielle's taken that. We'll let you know if anything gets different.
Yeah.
But it's already starting to get a bit. There's a little bit to go here. We'll maybe check in with Danielle and the others. I'll keep an eye on what happens. But it's starting to get a little bit more pressing. A few people pressing on at the front of the B+ race. So just to confirm, Danielle did just take the KOM. Fletcher coming in behind her. Then after Niebling from DZR, is he going to hold on?
Let's try it.
I think is that from Merte Graham? Is he going to get it? Ooh, that was close.
That's close.
Ooh, that was
on
close.
The line. I think he got it on the line.
We'll have to see what the prize.
We'll have to see what the results say. I'm not giving you that one just yet, Chris. So if we check in on the B-Cats, it's all getting a little bit. You can see it's getting a little bit feisty. Still about half a K to go at least.
Worth pointing out though that Graham did get the fastest time overall going up there.
He did. He did.
So my money's on you, big man.
And we'll come back to them in a second. Let's get the B plus riders over the line. Let's see who's going to press on. Looks like David Wilson's given a bit of a lead out to everyone. And then Synth Rider, one of the team captains from Swift Scotland, pressing on. We're into the sprint. 40 seconds to go.
It's a long sprint. That's
that's
early.
That's
a long way to go out from.
That's a long, long way.
This is going to be, I think, the longest sprint on Swift. This Fuego Flats. It's.
Can he hold 10 watts per kilo for? I don't know. He's got the endurance.
He's going to be fading.
He doesn't have the endurance. That is a long sprint.
You can't start that sprint from where the sprint bit starts.
And here comes Mike Taylor. Is he got it? No.
Oh, very.
So Sam Bolton came third. So I'm saying that was Mike Taylor came second, Anderson first, and Sam Bolton from TFC came third. I'm calling that one. See if Swift Power agrees with me in a sec. But coming back to the CCAT race, they are they trying to keep an eye on where the women are. It looks like the
just started the KOM.
There we go. Yeah, so we've had a front group selection down to 4 riders. And in the CCAT race, let's just see. So Danielle and Sam still have. They've still got 15 seconds.
I figured they would. I figured they'd come back together there.
Still got 15 seconds on the group behind. So they still need to work together for sure. Doesn't look like we're obviously only just checking in, but I think that both of them could do with working together here. If they do, then they can probably hold this and even grow the gap between here and the finish.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. It's going to be close. That group behind doesn't look like they're really organising to chase down. I mean, obviously the TFC guys shouldn't be looking to chase.
If Bob hits the front, he's going to be getting the telling off from his team captain afterwards.
Teammates, don't chase teammates.
He does need to get his kit. Get on the Sunday group ride. So
it looks like it's staying steady at about 20 odd seconds.
Yeah, it's gone on. I think when we came back, it was 15 seconds. It's now 22.
You've had that sort of false flat there as you're coming out, coming back up into the desert. That can help if the lighter riders there pushing on.
Yeah, it looks like the group's given up a little bit though. It doesn't look like anyone's really trying to press the pace on the front. I wonder if Danielle will try and break the toe. There's a little bit of an incline here.
It's going to be very difficult though. We're onto the flats. It's not going to be any more than 1% incline. And Simon's raw power, you got to fancy him for taking this.
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if he didn't take the win here.
I think with the points that Danielle's already gained on the KOMs, though, I think she probably takes the overall win. Because it's 100 points on the line for the winner, 95 for second place. So, yeah, 24 seconds.
So she's taken Volcano, she's taken Reverse. I mean, it's realistically, she's not going to take Simon on the line here.
Chase group is now back out to 25 seconds.
I think they've given up.
These two have got it. Yeah, these two have got it.
Yeah, they're just going to be playing games with each other now.
No, given any other
their legs waiting for the sprint.
Given any other circumstances with these two, if these two weren't clear out the front, I would say try and fan view chaps called Doug Curtis or Paul Harpham, but. Again, actually, I wouldn't even bother because you won't find them because neither of them bothered entering again this week. So there you go.
You need to get in touch. You need to get in control of your team. Come on, Chris.
I know.
Have a word.
Those two, they give it big licks every week. Paul's an A+ rider. Doug likes to think he's an A+ rider, but Yeah, they give it the big licks, but in reality, nah, they got nothing. Got nothing.
So, I think it could be interesting here. 27 seconds. You know, if Danielle, it looks like she's got the green jersey. So, I don't know if that's.
Well, yeah, because she's
she's got the female green jersey. Yeah, David Hill took that one, didn't he? So, if I remember right. So we'll keep an eye. It's not too far to go on this one. We'll check in on the results in a few seconds on Swift Power, see how things are filtering up, what we have so far. We've already got some of the A results, I think, starting to filter through. No, not quite. Looked like it should be. Forgot to ask for priority status. No! There we go. Next week. I did ask for it last week, but I forgot to ask this week. So we might be waiting a little while. We might have to rely on the live.
Ladies can't be too far off the top of the climb now.
You are correct. They are very nearly there. Good call.
Here we go. Got one of the Danish riders now just putting a dig out the front. Got Zwift Scotland's gone up to 6 watts per kilogram chasing, and the Danish rider has taken it nicely. So you've got a little group of 4. So that group actually split down as they went up there. So those 4 riders at the front put quite a big gap into the chasing group. So well done to them. So it's going to be between these 4? Yeah, these 4 riders at the front. It'll be between them for certain for the win.
Well ahead there now.
Interesting. Just watching the C plus race. Danielle was trying to play it a bit coy. She was sitting right in his wheel, just trying to hang on. Are the raw watts going to take him away? I think he's got it.
It's a good effort from him.
Didn't take that line down, that's for sure. Big ride, Danielle. Well done. I think
far off.
Oh no! I forgot we get dropped out of the race. I need a bit more practice. I've got how much time? 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Come on, Tim. Where are you? Found you. Go on. Where's the next punch in the road, Bob? Almost.
Just cut in.
No, don't get dropped. No, keep coming back.
Well, Damon coming in for 15.
Come on, Damon. So, cheers, Andrew. If anyone hasn't seen the commentary, we've just had a good racing, but the best part's the presenters drinking. So, cheers, Andrew. That's kind of the point. So, anyway, it's an excuse.
I did my training ride earlier, so at least I was on the bike earlier.
I haven't been on the bike yet, but there's still time.
Likewise, I was on the bike earlier as well. So
it's just me. All right, cheers, guys. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
So I think while we let the women run through the last sort of couple of K of their race, we'll try and see what we can get from the results.
So I'm trying to switch the women sometimes to the kilometres as well. For some reason, that's the only one in miles.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hold on a sec. My browser, for some reason, is not showing up. There we go. That's better. So hopefully you can now see my browser. And nothing on that. So in the A plus race, it looks like we had Wes took the win over the line, followed by Huel Davies of BRT, always up there. Adam Bailey from Team Electric. So it looks like Wes has had a pretty good night, and BRT in the A plus category. In the B race, obviously we saw this one through. Robin Anderson, followed by Mike Taylor, followed by Sam Bolton from TFC. I'm going to call that a good night for the Swedish team and TFC up the front. Steve rolled in, what's that, about 15th place, if I can call that.
Well done, Steve. Try harder next week, though, buddy. Try harder next week.
In the C race, doesn't look like we quite have the finish through yet, so we'll have to give that a few seconds. What do we have in terms of the sprints and the primes? We've got some of them. So in the
that's some
A
of the
category, so it looks like Wes took the sprint forward. Hewell Davies took both of the climbs. So it might be Hewell might be right up there. Yeah, he might be right up there at the finish.
Still no Mike Hoodless though. That's outrageous.
I don't see any Mike Hoodless. You're going to have words.
No. Danny Priest, you there as well? Danny, no, Danny. Oh dear.
In the B race, it looks like we saw that just SDW took the KOM reverse. The Vikings took the sprint forward, and Rodney Young took the KOM. So good effort there tonight, guys. Big effort. Good few TFC riders showing up in the lower points. We'll see how it all shakes out. And there's Steve sixth in the KOM. Good effort.
Good man.
And Volcano Climb. Andy Robinson up there in eighth. So yeah, not quite getting any results through yet. We'll keep checking, but there we go. I'll do that later. I'll do that once we're back watching the racing. So if we
ladies have just gone past the Titans Grove turn off. They're now approaching the start pens on the desert. So I would suggest not many more minutes left for them. So well done, ladies. Who is landing an aircraft?
What?
Sounds like somebody's landing an
plane
aircraft.
coming in to land.
Oh,
that's
me.
The Watts thing.
This is what happens when you live nearby an airport. Sorry, that's on me and my window's open.
I thought
essentially the Watts being put out there by the ladies, but no, it is just someone who lives near an airport.
What were the two climbs tonight? KOM reverse and
Volcano.
All right.
We've forgotten already.
It's the cider. Too much. Trying to get some points on here so we can try and get some results when things get to the finish. So, oh come on! Don't do that on me. Here you go. You can ignore my keyboard if you can hear the signs. I'm just putting the long tail of scores into the results. So sorry about
that. You can either type really quickly or you're just frustrated.
Bit of both. So all right, there we go. So hopefully we'll have some points on Zwift Power for the plus category races soon. So how are the women doing, guys? Where are we?
We've got them just coming around to where you get the little circle. So they've probably got about just over a K to go. I would imagine. There's a bit of an incline on this course, so if anyone wants to have a little dig now, if they want a lone hope of glory, then now would be the time. But I doubt that will happen. We've got the two Danish riders. Will they work together, or will Zwift Scotland come on the Union? Let's take this one, please.
It's going to be interesting. They seem to be fairly well matched in terms of sort of 15-second power. HM from Zwift Scotland seems to have the edge, but whether or not she can pull it off on here, see if somebody goes early for this.
Somebody has gone very early. They're putting out 7.2 watts a kilogram there at the front. The Danish.
The Danish ladies trying with the two of them there, maybe just trying to mix it up a bit here. Just put the hammer down early.
Yeah, it's definitely quite a well matched bunch here. No one's getting away even with the long effort.
That's I'm going to try and test my pronunciation. That's Maria Kvistgaard from Danish Riders.
We'll await all the write-ins for the mangled pronunciation of people's names later.
We are happy to take correction. We will probably not remember next week.
In fact, whilst just before the ladies finish, I must say, David Hyvey, I'm sorry I got your name wrong last week. I called you David Hivey, but you're David Hyvey. So there we go. I stand corrected.
You should be in the press. You should be in the press, Chris. Very happy to take correction. So is anyone going to go long on this? Starting to ramp it up. Here we go. So
tactical. An HB get up there.
No. Kvistgaard's gone 7.6 watts.
Looks like she'll take it there.
And Kvistgaard's
I think
very well done.
It looked on my screen like the Danish riders got both of the first two there.
Yeah, looks like they took the 1-2. Strong riding.
Yeah, well done. Well done indeed.
So we're still waiting.
Mr. Scotty, sorry I told you to go quite so early on that first sprint. I'll cook dinner, how's that?
No, I don't think you've got a choice in that, mate. So I will stress these are provisional, but if we jump back over to my browser, we can see some of the results. So in the A+ race, looks like Huel did do enough to take the front, and then Wes came second and fourth, so pretty tight up there. Again, I stress these are provisional because it takes a while for the full numbers to really flow through in Zwift Power, particularly across all the categories. In the BCAT race, looks like these Swedish Swift riders must have taken quite a few of the KOM points. Yeah, definitely. Big effort from Sam Bolton, well done. Well up there, and Andy Robinson as well, but good effort, guys.
Mike Taylor in provisional third as well there from Cryo. Always good to see them out there.
Yeah, and then in the CCAT race, it looks like Simon's sitting on the top at this point. As I say, these are still provisional, and we may not have all of the prime points calculating through yet. And I have a feeling the KOM, the reverse climb, is not counting on that yet, so there may yet be a bit of a shake-up to come at that.
Yeah, I would imagine Danielle would actually be up there.
I don't know where Simon was on the sprint. Let's see if we can see if Simon's throwing through on the forward sprint. Yeah, he came third, so Simon.
He's got a few more points there.
He had a second, a third, and a fourth, whereas Danielle had two firsts and
she wouldn't
not in the sprint.
There for the sprint.
No. So I think it'll be close between the two of them. Keep an eye on the results as things come through. So with that, with all races finished, thank you very much for joining us tonight, everyone. Well done, Tim. It may have been disgusting, but you finished it, so congrats. Just seeing his comment on Facebook. But yeah, thanks for joining us. We'll be here again next week. We will have our drinks in tow. Do join us to catch the racing, and for those that were racing, thanks for your support, and thank you to Nick, thank you to Chris. See you again next week.
So should mention where we're going next week, huh?
I'll leave that to you, Nick. Where are we off to next week?
Off to Yorkshire next week. God's own country.
You sound like you've been there, Nick.
Hey, that's where I'm from.
Hence my point, if you were to explain.
So we've got 9 laps of the Duchy Estate. It's going to be
miserable.
Quite a punchy rolling course there.
By the way, just to interpret, what Nick calls rolling, everyone else calls painful. Just to interpret. So there we go.
Well, I thought I had some good feedback from this route last time round. And by good, everyone said it hurt, so I thought I'd throw it in again.
Your job is to cause pain.
Type 2 fun, right?
Yeah, indeed.
And the bonus points will be on at the sprints, again on laps 3, 5 and 7. So it's you get at least a lap or two to recover after each of the sprints there.
So cool.
It's a flat course for Yorkshire.
I'll give you that. So anyway, with that, I'm hungry. It is my dinner time because, unlike Chris, I haven't been eating throughout the event. We shall catch you all again next week. Thanks for joining us. And
happy birthday, Pete Larkin. Happy birthday, Pete Larkin.
Cheers, guys. Catch you later.
Cheers.
Right. Cheers. See you next time.